We're here today, Jeff Rice, and we're here today with Carol Lee. Carol is from the Northern Mariana Islands, the island of Saipan, and she has had a fantastic junior career. She is getting ready to head off to college soon, and so we're going to have a little chat with our second podcast from the NMITA, courtesy of KSPN News, and we also have joining us KSPN sports personality Bob Coldeen.
Well, thank you for inviting me here today. It certainly is an honor to be here.
Thanks for joining us for this.
Thank you, Coach Jeff,
Okay.
for having me here. And
It'll be fun. We're just going to have a little chat, and I have a few questions for you, Carol. And I like to start at the beginning. So, for most of your younger years in tennis, you were coached by your dad. How old were you when you started tennis?
I started playing tennis when I was 6 years old.
6.
Yeah.
Good age.
Yeah, young age.
And your dad wasn't really a trained or an experienced coach or player. How did he go about teaching you the fine technique that you have today?
Well, he is definitely a tennis dad.
Yeah.
He loves to play tennis. Loves to play games. He watches YouTube, looking at Serena Williams, the greatest top female players and male players, like techniques such as like forehand, big forehand, backhand, big serves, kick serves, and he tries to teach me those stuff to me by watching YouTube.
I think it's really interesting the way so many players can access YouTube to learn tennis these days, and I know another one of our national team members, Bobby Cruz, tells me that he learned a lot of his tennis off of YouTube. I watched you play a lot of matches when you were a young girl, when you were from 6 on, when you started playing tournaments here. And at that time, you seemed to me to have no nerves at all. I thought, this girl is like an ice maiden.
Oh.
But, when we went to Fiji for the first time to the POJC, I think you were about 10 years old, and it was the first time I saw that you had some problems with your nerves. Do you remember that first time to Fiji, or was that just too long ago for you?
No, I remember it definitely.
Yeah, I know you're only 10, but I thought you were going to win the whole tournament, and then you had a couple losses where you got a little nervous. Was that like your first exposure to pressure, or how has that shaped the way did that have any impression on the way that you deal with pressure throughout your junior career, that first experience of that?
Yeah, definitely. I remember I was really under pressure because it was my first time traveling out to somewhere that I've never even think of, which was Fiji.
Yeah.
And it was my first experience playing with other different regions and countries, and that's how it became it was just my first biggest under pressure I had playing against those kind of players.
Yeah. After that first POJC, we went back the next year when you were 11, and you won the 12s the next year.
Yes.
The next year when you were 12, you won the 14s, and then when you were like 13 on, you played in the 16s, and you won it every year, I think, for 4 years in a row. How did those experiences of winning all those POJCs affect your confidence when you began to play in ITF junior events?
Just winning. I mean, that my first year in Fiji, I became the top 4. I was really under pressure and nervous, and it was not my greatest matches I played. But I think I learned from that a lot, trying to handle all the pressures, and just by winning. And then I won the next year and then the following year, and that gave me confidence, a lot of confidence in me. And I had pressure also for my first ITF juniors because it's international. All of the countries from different players are trying to compete, and the level was really high. But then winning the POJC years, that gave me confidence still.
So I didn't actually have this in the questions, but now that I think back, jogging my memory, your first ITF match was in Guam.
Yes.
and nobody ever wins their first ITF match, but you won that first ITF match, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I remember that.
I mean, I was so thrilled. I was so proud of you. I know everybody here was, but to win your first ITF match was really something. And then you came over here the next week, and I think you had to play the #1 seed.
Yeah, first
and
round.
you and you almost went to a tiebreaker with the top seed in the whole tournament.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
That was exciting,
Yeah,
exciting times.
Yeah.
So when you were about 14, you were invited to train at the ITF International Tennis Federation Training Center in Lautoka, Fiji. Can you tell us how the training and coaching you received there affected your success in the junior ranks?
Well, the training schedule, and I also had to study there. It was online. It was really different, but I was really happy and glad that I decided to train there for a year because their training structures and the schedule was really tight. It was like wake up early in the morning, like around 6 o'clock a.m. Back then, before Coach Roxanne took over, it was Coach Darren Wrighton, and we had to wake up like 5:30 a.m., do some fitness, doing sprinting up the hill, or like run 2 miles in the rugby field. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that good? Isn't that good for you?
Well, I was really tired after that. I was burned out. It was like my first time doing that, like waking up so early. I used to go to school there that time.
It was a shock for you.
Yeah.
And then after you did all that exercise in the morning, you went off to school.
Did online school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then doing school, some like 3 hours, 4 hours, and then eat lunch, take a break for 30 minutes, and then back to school again, and then training session, pick up the laundry, dinner for like 45 minutes, take a quick shower, study again, and then the lights out will be, the bedtime will be like 10 p.m. maximum.
So do you feel that very regimented, disciplined schedule helped you with like your discipline and your work ethic?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Cool. Like more discipline. I also had to like wash and clean dishes, and on Sundays I had to mop the room and everything.
Wow.
Organized. Yeah.
Great, good character building stuff.
Good memories.
Yeah. While you were in Fiji, you didn't spend much time here in Saipan at home. You were there most of the time, and you did online school. You feel like you missed anything, like going to a prom or like the social situations you might have had if you just gone to school here?
Yeah. When I first was invited and stayed in Fiji for a year and came back home for like a month in December and then had to fly back again. I missed out a lot of things. I missed out some high school life that normally high schoolers would like go to, meeting new friends, going to the classroom, meeting teachers, hanging out with friends like on weekends, going on proms. I did miss that, and I sometimes like regret it for my first year. Like, why did I chose to come here and train? But then it was all worth it, and I'm happy that I decided.
Let me ask you a question, Carol, about that online. You've done so much online for the last 4 years, and with this virus and everything going around, the educators talking about using more online, staying at home and learning. Evaluating that as like an educational tool. As a student who's just gone through it, what do you think of that?
Well, I think it's very useful if you want to, succeed or like accomplish some goals in your life that include sports or any other things. But the school is stuck in you. You still have to educate. Get education if you want to go to college or whatever.
Do you feel confident that the education you got online is preparing you for college?
Yes. Some people say that there are some disadvantages. There are, I agree, but then doing online school was really helpful for me with my traveling schedules and training schedules.
I would imagine the very best thing is you can spend as much time, anytime you want on that.
Yeah.
And so it's just so flexible that you can really accelerate if you want to.
Yeah, time flexibility is the point for online. Yeah.
You know, Carol, when you were young, you were a very quiet kid. I mean, like trying to, you know, we'd travel when you were young, and it was hard to get a word out of you. But since then, you've had the opportunity to travel the world. You've been to Asia, Africa, Europe, U.S., Mexico, Australia, and I know a lot of that travel was on your own. It was even without a coach. A lot of times you're just traveling just by yourself. I remember the first time you went to India, I think, maybe it was. You were quite young, and you even had a problem coming back where they were like preventing you from coming back, and I'm getting a call from like immigration or something. What are we going to do about this girl? Yeah, you didn't know about that.
I don't remember that.
But you know, a lot of that travel was on your own, and now you're obviously a very self-confident 18-year-old. How did all that traveling on your own, affect you that way?
Well, traveling alone was hard and difficult at first. I had to adapt whenever I arrived in a new country. Then I didn't know what to do first. I also have to prepare for competitions. I didn't know what to prepare because coaches would do it. Like scheduling the bus time or bus schedule, or getting a taxi and going to the course, the location of the competition is at, the players you have to practice with, you have to find players to practice with.
I mean, a lot of adults would have a problem doing the things that you did as a 16-year-old.
I got used to it eventually.
You got used to it. Well, maybe that made up, all that experience that has produced the person you are, made up for some of the things that you missed when some of the proms that you missed or something.
Yeah.
But you're a worldwide traveler, That's pretty amazing for somebody who's just 18.
Oh, thank you.
Now, you became the first person from the NMI to win an ITF singles event. Your first win, I think, was in New Caledonia in 2017. You went on to win a total of 7 ITF singles events, including a grade 3 event in Casablanca, Morocco, a long ways from here, in 2019, last year. What do you think was your biggest ITF victory in your junior career?
My biggest? Well, I have a couple, but...
Yeah, tell us about them.
Well, my first
What were your
ITF
favorites?
tournament I won was New Cal. That was my first. So
something special about that first one.
That is special. It was my first. I think I won 2 New Cals there because there were 2 events. Yeah, so I was really happy and proud about that. And then the Fiji ones, I kind of expected to win that because I've been training there in Fiji. I know the community, the place.
Those were your home courts.
Yeah, my home courts. Yeah, so then I kind of knew that I could take that win, and which I did for Fiji. I think the most was the Casablanca one, the grade 3. It was my first win in clay court that I haven't adapted much, and there's no clay courts in Saipan or Fiji, so I think it's my first one. And why that was special was in the finals I played against the number 1 seed. She's from France, and
she was ranked about top 50 in the world.
Yeah,
43 or something.
Yeah, she was in top 50, and the score was really tight. First set it was 7-6, I think 7-3 I won, and then 2-6, and then third set it came up to tiebreaker, and I was down 2-6.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's so many match points that she had.
And then I got up 8-6 somehow.
Wow.
Yeah, and then won that.
That must have been, that's certainly got to be a highlight.
Is that because you played so well, or did the other girl choke?
I think she choked. I tried to play consistent. I told myself just keep the ball in.
Make her beat you.
Yeah. And she started making mistakes with her forehand. She's trying to hit big.
Yeah.
And then that's how I think she got into her nerves. And then I kind of pushed her, made her do some forced errors.
You know, we don't talk much about doubles, but you also won 5 ITF doubles titles. The last 3 you won with Wing Ka Lin. How did you get, and the first time that you played with her and won a doubles title was here in Saipan.
Yes.
How did you get started playing with her and keep that successful partnership going?
Well, first she reached out to me. She messaged me, and I was like, okay, I think she's pretty good. She's a Hong Kong player, and she's really her personality. We fit, like first time when we met, like we fit each other. She had my back. She's the one who kind of lifted me up sometimes when I was being negative during the courts, and she was a good volleyer, consistent. And I did my own role, which was baseliner and my serves and hitting cross courts, and she did her role, which was more volley and more consistency, and that's how I think we worked together as a team.
Okay, so she was like complementary to your game.
Yes.
You were the first player from the NMI. You had a lot of firsts, Carol, but you were the first player from the NMI to play in both the Australian Open and the US Open Junior events last year in 2019. How did it feel to be playing in a Grand Slam tournament?
Oh, well, really big. It was
Huge.
It was huge. It's better than I thought it would be. That's why, while I was playing, and I was there playing Grand Slam juniors, I knew why a lot of players their dream is to play in Grand Slams. I felt really wow, I'm actually playing in Grand Slam junior and competing, and there were so many crowds, so many things going on, and I really want to go and play there.
Well, there was so many people who were following you at both of those times, Carol, and we were all very excited and proud of you too. What was your highest ITF junior ranking, and what do you think about that achievement?
My highest was 114. I wanted to reach top 100 by the end of the year. Unfortunately, I didn't. It was really close, but I'm happy with it. I'm happy and proud of myself for reaching that level and that ranking. And I'm an NMI player. I'm from Saipan, and I'm honored to represent my country.
Well, we're honored to have somebody who was ranked 114 in the world. I always wonder when I'm talking to experienced players, among the ITF tournaments you played, what do you think was like the one that got away? Maybe the one that you were really close to a match, or not necessarily a tournament, but even a match that you really wanted to win and it just didn't quite get across the finish line.
Well,
is that one of your Grand Slam? One of your Grand Slam?
Yeah.
Matches?
The Australian Open one.
That was close.
The first round against 8-seeded player. She's Korean. I knew her. I knew how she played. She was a solid player, and I thought I could have gotten.
That went 3 sets.
Yeah. The first set, I don't know what happened. I think it was 0-6 or
did you win the second set in a tiebreaker?
Yeah, I won the second set, 7-5. And then lost 4-6.
4-6.
Yeah,
That's a really close match. We're talking about 1 or 2 points.
Yes.
Between victory and defeat. Those are tough, but we all have to deal with those kind of losses.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I just want to turn to the Pacific Oceania Fed Cup team for a minute. You had a young start in joining that Fed Cup team. You had played junior Fed Cup also, but when you got to the Fed Cup team, you got to team up with players with experience on the Pro Tour, and Abby Terria-Pisa and Steffi Carruthers. And I was wondering, maybe you could tell us about your Fed Cup experiences and how training and playing with those pro players might have affected you.
I was honored to be part of the team. Fed Cup, it's a really huge deal, and playing and practicing, staying with them being Steffi and Abigail being my teammates and just playing backup together, it was a good experience for me. And well,
You're looking forward to
I was
continuing that in the future?
yes, and I was a bit pressured. It was a bit pressuring because I know that how like their age and my age, like they're
Big
older than me.
difference,
Yeah,
yeah.
big difference. So I really experienced how the adults would play against each other, what their mentality is, how they keep their fitness, and what they eat, and their diets, and what do they do while they rest. Like I've observed it, and then I learned from them. Yeah.
Great. Let's move over to the Pacific Games in Samoa.
Oh.
That was good times.
Yeah.
We went last year in July, and I didn't know if you were going to make it, because you were on the bubble to get into Wimbledon, and it was like I had such mixed feelings because I wanted you to play in the game so bad, but I was going to be so happy for you if you got into the draw in Wimbledon. But then you just missed the cutoff for Wimbledon,
Yeah.
and you came to Fiji and you joined us. You came to Fiji and then Samoa to join us, and it was your first time that you ever competed for the NMI in any games. Is that right? It is,
Yes.
right? And so, how did you think it was going to be going in?
Well, I had a few of my goals for
Yeah.
SVG. Yeah, I was excited, and I kind of like got my goals together. First thing was my first goal was for our team, the women's team. Tanya Tan, Malika Miyawaki, Isabel Harris, and me. We thought to place in at least top 3. And for mixed doubles, I knew Colin was gonna come, so then I thought we were gonna partner up. And I was expecting us to be also in like top 3, even like first place, And individual singles and doubles, I wanted to be also reach semifinals at least. Yeah, that was my goals.
So you met some of your goals and others you
Yeah.
didn't quite meet. We
Yeah.
did have a really unusual draw in the
Yeah,
team
that's so
competition, and we were
unfortunate.
in the same pool with the top 2 teams. I think kind of that must have been a little disappointing. It was for me as a coach as well.
Yeah.
But did you feel like you were satisfied with your performance at the games, the way that you played?
Some.
So what? I know that you had just beaten Steffi the year before, and then maybe was that a match that you were disappointed in to have lost that match with Steffi?
Yeah, that was one of the matches that I was disappointed and wish that time, like to go back in time and play again.
To her credit, she had trained so hard,
Yeah.
and I think she was a completely different player than the player that you had beaten the year before. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was different. She played more aggressively. She was more consistent, and
And her
it
slice
was
backhand
her
was
home court
wicked.
as well. Yeah. Oh, slice backhand.
Yeah.
It was more effective than before.
Mm.
Yeah.
What was the highlight of the games for you?
The highlight was competing with Abigail. She was, my Fed Cup partner, and I was down love 4. No wait, I was up 4 love. By 3 love.
You lost the first
Oh,
set.
yeah, I lost the first
6
set.
love.
Yeah, I lost
And
the
you were
first
so
set.
mad at yourself. I remember you were so mad at yourself, and then you went up 4-1 against her in the second set.
Yeah.
And I've told you several times since then, that's the best I've ever seen you play. And I think I've told you, I think it sort of set a new benchmark for you. Like, this is how good I can play.
Yeah.
Wow, what a bunch of games you played there. You were playing a player who was ranked, at some time 200 and something in the world, and you were kicking her butt
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah, for a while. It didn't end that well. Yeah. One of my highlights as well was the mixed doubles. Colin and I played like Semifinals, it was hard against Eleanor and
No, you played
Leon.
Cook Islands in
Oh,
the
the Cook
semifinals.
Islands. Oh, Cook Islands. Wait, what's it? Cook Islands and then Samoa.
I think we played Cook Islands in the semifinals.
How about the Samoa one?
Quarterfinals?
Quarterfinals?
I'm not sure.
I remember that both of the matches we went to super
Yeah.
tiebreaker,
Yeah.
and then the finals another super tiebreaker.
Well, the
against
finals-
PNG.
I think that was the most exciting match that our team played in the games. I think we lost the first set. You and Colin lost the first set 7-5, won the second set 6-3, and you were
I don't
down.
even know the
And you were down. Well, all I had to do was watch at that point, and you were down in the super tiebreaker.
Oh yeah. I don't know what was the score? Do you remember?
It was 10-8.
Oh.
Jeff remembers all the scores.
So,
Yeah, that is why I was
Do
like-
players remember all the scores like he does?
No.
No, I don't think so.
But I didn't have to deal with the pressure of the match and all that. I was just watching, and it was everything to
Still,
me.
that's a year ago.
I was looking for Carol to be the only woman on our team who won a medal.
So if I ask you about 5 years ago, you can tell me a score of her championship?
Probably. But I do remember you guys played Cook Islands in the semifinal the day before, and I didn't think that you had been aggressive enough at the net.
Yeah, you
And
told me.
I
that
told
to
you,
be
I said, no
aggressive.
matter how many volleys you miss, you've got to keep being aggressive.
Yeah.
And I just felt like in the super tiebreaker, you really went after your shots and your volleys, and that really made the difference.
I really wanted to get that goal.
You did.
Yeah.
And Colin is like, oh, that was all Carol too.
Uh,
He was so happy for you.
thank you. Thanks, Colin.
Are you looking forward to playing for the NMI here in Saipan in the games in 2022?
Oh, I'm excited. I just
Great.
hope that it will still be on, because the COVID. So
Well, it's been
I
moved
heard
back
it's
a
moved
year.
back, yeah.
So,
I hope that I will be free that time and talk to the college coaches and send me back here to play.
Jeff, follow
yes.
up on that. What's the latest on that? Is tennis going to be in that 20?
No final decision has been made, but I spoke with Vidya Larkin, the president of the Games
Yeah.
Council, and Andrew Minogue, the executive director, and they were very positive about us having tennis in. I am very confident. I think I'm 99% confident tennis will be in that.
Well, we need to have that so Carol can
We
come
do.
back. She needs an excuse
Absolutely.
to come
Yeah,
back.
I need an excuse.
We've got so many good players. What, in your mind, what is your biggest achievement in tennis so far? If you had to pick out one thing,
My biggest.
would it be your gold medal in Samoa? Would it be your win in the grade 3 event in Morocco? What do you think?
It's just so many.
So many. So you have a lot of favorites.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Well,
Well, in my coaching career, I have often seen that there's a lot of players, they get to be your age, they graduate from high school, they're very good, and then they're thinking, I'm just not going to play anymore because I'm as good as I can get. And, I talked to Colin about that in our podcast, and Colin's like, no, you're going to get so much better. And so let's just talk about the new phase that you're entering in your tennis career, which is playing in college in the U.S. Where are you going, and how did you decide on that school?
I'm going to Georgia Tech, another name for Georgia Institute of Technology in Atlanta, Georgia. And I decided to go to that college after I went on a recruiting trip.
Okay. Did you like the campus? You like the coach?
Yes, I
You like the
coaches.
program?
I like the community there. It's very diverse. I like the people around me. When I was walking, everyone was, they were busy, but then they were happy. They had good manner, respect. I like the head coach as well. I like how they coach because I watched them coach the players and the team, and I like how they coach. How their spirit of the team is like their spirit. They would, one of the girls while training, and they would be like shouting, go Yellow Jackets, and I like the spirit of the team. I went there during the fall season there, and the leaves were really beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of beautiful like red colors. It was just so good to see.
Did you go there when you were in the U.S. for the U.S. Open?
I went before the tan holding started.
Oh, before Tan Holding, so a little bit
Yeah.
later in the year.
Yeah.
As you know, I think you're going to have a great college career, but what do you have any goals for yourself as you transition into college tennis?
My goals. Um,
Or are you just going to get in there and see what it's like?
I think I don't really have specific goals.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
During my freshman year, I want to adapt to it, and I want to see how it goes with my classes and how I adapt with the tennis schedule as well. But I do have a little bit of goal is for our team to win.
Okay. Okay.
To win.
Good.
To win
Good.
matches.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be contributing to that. Now, do you have aspirations to give the pros a try, like Colin Sinclair and like your Fed Cup teammates, maybe after college is over or during?
I am thinking of that. I haven't decided yet, but I am thinking I want to try going pro as well. So I'm thinking either pro or get a degree, and I haven't decided on that yet.
Okay.
It's going to kind of decide by itself.
Yeah.
No, really? Okay, let's
Yeah.
see the fate.
Fate will decide.
Is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to here as a thank you for helping you reach the success that you've achieved?
Yes. Okay.
Go ahead, it's all yours. Who do you want to say? Who do you want to thank?
I'd like to thank first my family for helping me and supporting me throughout my life and during my junior tennis career. And then the ITF has been supporting me with the traveling costs and giving me good intensity of workouts, trainings, and online school programs. Coach Roxanne, she is very cool and amazing, and she has been coaching me, many things. I learned a lot from her in tennis and in life. Coach Thomas, French coach, he also pushed me very hard and during the trainings, and I learned how to drop shot because of it.
Good.
Yeah. My friends, even though I haven't really made high school friends, I've had some good middle school friends.
About Malika.
Malika,
She's your
yeah,
friend, right?
she's my
Malika,
friend. Tennis
yeah.
friends, yeah, my tennis friends. And shout out to Coach Jeff, who has been supporting me, even though we barely seen each other. Every time you come to VJC, I'll meet you, and you've been always supporting me, giving me advice, good advice, toward my tennis, anything, and yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank you for coming in today, and I'd like to thank you, Bob, for joining us.
Well, thank you for
It was-
inviting me.
It was a lot of fun.
Good to see you, Carol.
And Carol, best of luck. You've had so much success already at such a young age, but I know you're going to have a great college career, and I look forward to taking you and the good times we're going to have in the future with you playing for the NMI, and as you progress forward in the college and the pros, maybe.
Thank you, Coach
Okay.
Jeff. Thank you.
Good luck.